and gentlemen, to the greatest podcast on earth! Step right up and experience the magnificence that is the Ring Circus podcast. You'll gasp, you'll laugh, and you'll be amazed at what comes next.
Amazing.
Don't worry about the smell. It's just the stars of our show, Tom Italiano.
Hello.
And Matt Bradshaw.
Oh, g'day.
Welcome.
Are we making this work?
Buddy,
Is this working?
it surely is, my friend.
Wow. What giant mountain shall we climb next?
Oh, well, my beer's empty.
Oh, your beer has a green label on it. Which is how we know that you're not actually in that fancy recording studio.
How dare you?
That's unreal. Here we are in my fancy new house, as you can see.
It's lovely, mate. It's,
Well,
what do you
I just-
mean there's not enough PowerPoints? I can see two right there.
Oh, well, yeah, there's two. Yeah, but they don't work.
Come on.
Do you know how much do you know how nice it would be to have that much effing space in this room right now?
I can't picture the room you're in,
Which
which is weird because I'm looking at it.
Well, the room I'm in is currently basically just split in half with a big green drape around it.
Yeah, right.
Which I imagine if you've got a green screen like that, yours is too.
I'm directly in front of it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm against it.
Oh, that's pretty good. Good plan. You've even got a studio chair in that studio.
I do.
Yeah. That chair, far out. That chair looks like one of those chairs you'd see at the circus where they would get another one or two or three of those chairs and balance them on top of each other and do handstands in the air.
Well, guess what?
What's
That was in the last version of Rebel.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
That was in two of the shows I saw at the Adelaide Festival, so maybe it was in the contract that they all had to do chair works.
Well, it was our new cast member, Rocky.
Good name.
Yeah, Rocky Stone.
Ah, what a good name.
She's tremendous. She's really good. She's I don't know. She might be 5'4".
Oh, so my height, yeah. Yeah.
And just fucking tough as old boots.
Awesome.
Like muscly. You know, like circus performers. You know what circus performers look like.
Like, strong to the point of they look hard to touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's just delightful. And her really great. She's got really great comic sense as well. So she was fun to watch. She was really fun to watch.
Cool. What happened? What ended up happening with the show when Stu was sick? It just didn't go on, I assume.
They had some nights off where the show didn't happen at all, and then when he was hospitalised a second time after coming back, arguably too soon, but we don't know these things until we start doing them. They did sort of an all-star style thing.
Cool.
Got performers from other shows to come in and sing songs.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Good teamwork.
Yeah, I mean, probably even... I know musos can come together for a common cause, bushfires and all that sort of stuff. Or even when it's... Oh, that's a poor example. We certainly have the ability to come together when one of our own is suffering. But I certainly think in that circus community, because everyone works on everyone else's show, because it's so tight-knit and it's such a... it's a smaller community than the music community, and it seems to lend itself. Maybe that's a commentary on just smaller groups of people, where I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a numbers thing or if it's a sensibility thing.
Yeah. I wonder if it is to do with circus performers in particular, in the fact that in order to get, like, we all see circus performers and go, oh my God, the physical capability that's just far beyond what, a normal human being knows how to do, or has the confidence in their body, but also the experience. I mean, in order to do something where you're hanging off a bar, spinning around, that's not just something you pick up, after a couple of weeks at circus camp. That's years and years, and it's years and years of strength, years and years of confidence building and slight tweaks. And I think the one thing that those kind of circus performers, when they get to the level that they can do that in those shows, one thing they've all got in common is that incredibly long apprenticeship. And I don't think musicians do comparatively. I think what I mean is that with musicians, for example, it's far more varied, and the attitude towards being a performer or being a dedicated musician or being an artist or being a player or being an attention seeker, all those variables are far more variable than the things about being, I would imagine, about being a circus performer. Or the things that they have in common are far more refined and specific. So there's not often you find, like, someone who does, like, they might be doing the, twirling fire and breathing fire and putting swords down their throat. They're not very often loud, gregarious people.
No.
They're quite reserved, and I think you need to be able to spend that much time with your body like that, getting to that point.
Yeah, maybe. That's interesting.
And I wonder, when they get together, quite often they're shy and demure, and then they get out there and they perform, but it's very much something about, like, when I watch them, I just think, that's something most people don't do. They don't pick anything and dedicate themselves to be able to do it that refined. And
yeah.
So maybe that's it. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's only a small part of it.
Yeah. So I mean, that was how they finished up their season anyway, because Stu wasn't there right to the end. He's still not fixed.
No, that sucks.
It's crazy.
I've got headphone problems.
Still.
Yeah.
Got to stop sitting on them.
Well, I haven't sat on these. I took the other ones to get repaired and got. I got an incredible price on some reasonable good ones.
Okay.
I did that thing, and I rarely do. I said, what price can you do on some of those? And they were crap. And I said, what about those ones? And he gave me a price, and I went, no, I don't think I can. And then another $100 came off. It was like, okay,
wow.
So now $300 headphones are $110. Okay, well,
wow.
No worries.
Okay.
And specifically, I wanted these because they fit in my ear nice, but without putting the seal on them. So they sit in the...
You don't want to put a seal on them.
No.
Because your ear smells like fish afterwards.
True. So they sit in that... I don't know what that pocket of your whole ear is called, but they don't...
It's your ear hole pocket.
It's my ear pocket. Well, it's in my ear hole pocket. But, sometimes with these in-ear monitors, when you put the little rubber Doovalackie on it, it makes a really hard vacuum seal, and I hate that about monitors, which is why I don't wear them at gigs. I could actually do a gig like this.
Wow. One day you may well get the opportunity to do so.
Not for a long time.
Well, I got sushi yesterday from my little Japanese sushi shop.
Yeah.
And he said, this will all be finished in 2 weeks.
I hope he was referring to the sushi.
God, I hope he wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I meant that, the sushi that had fish in it. the vegetarian stuff might last a bit longer, but
Ew, it's
Ew.
made fresh every day, their sushi.
Ah,
That's the
whatever.
point. Ew.
2 weeks, eh?
I know, bless him.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
No. But I quite like a lot about what's happening at the moment. But I also I'm struggling in other areas.
Are you?
Yeah. I haven't seen my nieces and nephew for a month. And that's weird. Haven't seen I haven't seen my brother. He lives around the corner.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of, I think, that you can. That you could just go and just park out the front for 5 minutes and have a chat. But that, I mean, I don't know why we're not doing that kind of stuff, but it seems like, well, if everyone does it, then is it really social distancing? So it's hard to get your head around what you can do. Because I've been going to the shops, been going to the doctors. Well, not, So I've been going out to do essential things. And then you kind of think, hang on, seeing my family is essential, or seeing people I'm close to. I haven't seen you for a month. It
doesn't feel like that to me, though.
Well, we have been seeing each other, in this kind of format, or I've watched your Facebook lives and you watch mine and stuff, and we have spoken on the phone and FaceTimed, and that's really handy. But it's still, yeah.
When we FaceTimed the other night, it was like we were sitting on the couch next to one another, though.
Yeah, but that is because of the amount of booze that we drank.
No, come on.
No, it was lovely. It was really nice. And I think you do make the most of, well, if you've got someone like you and I have with this kind of relationship, if you've got someone where, part of what you do together is make the most of your opportunities together, then it does make it easier. But it also makes it hard because then you kind of, then the next day you're like, oh, that was really, really nice, but, still wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And stuff.
We're, I mean, the positive we get to put on this is, imagine if this technology wasn't actually available to us.
Yeah.
That's a dead giveaway.
Oh, what happened? It fell down.
Part of my studio just dismantled.
Do you know what, though? Even though that happened, that's a really nice room.
Thanks, man.
So what, your actual room is way nicer than my room. I love that you just said, imagine if this technology wasn't available to us, and you just went bang.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the technology that failed was a piece of sticky tape.
Oh, God. Was it real sticky tape, though? Was it Scotch tape?
It was white. It was white gaffa tape.
Oh. Well, I expect that to hold better.
So would I.
Yeah, I was talking to Mum, I think, the other day, just saying that, maybe even you and I had a brief chat about it as well, but how, if this was 100 years ago, you wouldn't know about it until.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
certainly you had this conversation with me, and you may have had it with other people.
Yeah. So it's. I tell you what, though, I am not up to date very well with what is going on with rules, regulations, government things. I'm just pretty much staying in my house and going to either the shop or the supermarket or to medical appointments. Like, I've even stopped, about 4 or 5 days ago, I stopped doing the check-in with the news, with the ABC website, to find out what was going on with numbers and stuff. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I more or less have too, because I just now we're at this stage of just fucking stay in your house, dickhead. Well, there's not a whole bunch more you need to know, and once you don't have to stay in your house anymore, dickhead, we'll soon find out about that. You won't have to look very hard.
Speaking of dickhead though, the couple of times I have been faced with the news, like the news TV show, The News, has been in medical waiting rooms, and I've turned the TV off. I've just walked up and gone, do you mind if I turn this off? And everyone's gone, no, like, because we're all there watching it, and it's just like it's the point now where I think initially what I noticed is it was being the news. It was being quite informative and it was information based, and we're in a bit of a state of emergency. And I think what I've noticed now, it's kind of gone back to how news used to be, and it's sensational, and it's like
100%, mate. And you and I spoke about how good the news had gotten. And it's absolutely already gone back to, well, we need to sell some more fucking products. So
business as usual. And I was just like, well, I was never interested in news before. Hey, so blue screens are also a thing, apparently.
Yeah. My understanding about blue screens is they're mainly for film stock, not video stock.
But your knee is currently see-through.
Oh.
Are you wearing blue jeans?
They're very pale.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's happening, but yeah.
That's
because I'm not very well lit in here.
I'm very pale. I'm surprised I'm not see-through.
They're so pale they've probably got a greeny tinge to them. Yeah, I'm quite dimly lit in here, so
I'm very bright. Yeah. But I'd like to have a studio room for just this stuff, because then what I have noticed was just for everyone if anyone's watching, I am in my room where my computer is for my recording, where I do my emailing, where I do everything. I do everything in this room, and I have started taking my laptop out to the couch or out to the backyard, and backyard's bad because the laptop lighting, kitchen table, kitchen bench, and then yesterday I set up the camping table in the bedroom with a kitchen chair. So I was just doing some work and some emailing and stuff in a different space.
Yeah, right.
Because they're like, I'm just trying to get out of the same joint all the time. Because I start in here at 7-ish in the morning, and then I'm here again. But now I've worked out this audio stuff, I think. I have spent basically the best part of 2 weeks trying to get audio to work. And video. So maybe I won't have to spend so much time in here at the moment.
Well, that's my fervent desire also.
Is to
not have to think about it.
Yeah, just to turn it on.
Okay, so this is what I do now.
Yeah.
For now. This is what I'm doing. This is now I'm just putting my guitar in my car and driving to work and getting to work and setting up the PA that I set up fucking 7 times a week, 8 times a week, and
ready to go.
Yeah.
That's what this should be.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I really felt for the other morning where your stuff was messed around because of, wasn't working the way you needed it to because of the messing around you and I had done the night before.
Yeah, it's
that was the message I sent you. Don't read this now.
That's what. Yes, that was that. Well, there's an element of a bit intrepid explorer about it too, isn't there? Like where you go, well, I had it. Like I imagined that there was a new world at the other side of the sea, and that there wasn't flat Earth, and you didn't just sail off the end of the sea. I imagined that you'd be able to do this, and well, there was no map. But I went out with my trusty navigation partner and we found our way to the promised land. So
one of the biggest frustrations I've found with navigating this new technology and learning how to do new things that I haven't had to do before is that, particularly in my case, like I think you and I are differently wired, and I think you think about things in a different way to me. I think you think about more complex things than I do. So I'm often surprised if I'm trying to do something that feels so obvious and simple, and to me is clearly an obvious thing to want to do.
yes,
And the way I'm doing it is fucking Occam's razor. It's the simplest way to do it. So why the fuck can I not, one, do it myself, or two, find somebody else in this fucking World Wide Web of intrigue who hasn't tried to do it this way before and can't explain how it's done?
yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
My ideas aren't that fucking innovative.
I have had the same trouble, and I put it down to this. Once you add X amount of variables in one stage and then X amount of variables in another stage, and because everything we're trying to do, although what we're doing in our mind is simple, it has 10 stages. So if there are 1,000 different cameras available on the market, that one stage has 1,000 variables, and they're way more than 1,000 cameras, for example, right? Then you add the next stage, which is types of audio input, then types of video input, then types of, and you just kind of, this is why you and I are having have had so much trouble, because there are just, at every stage, there's so many variables. And so then by the time you get to stage 10, there's actually millions of possibilities of the way we can do the thing that we want to do, which should be simple because right in front of us, we only have one or two options available in each stage. And that's what I've learned about this oh, okay, so I don't have one of those. I do have one of those. And well, isn't there a program that can, like, for example, the way I've solved the audio issue that I've had is there is a program that routes audio inside the computer from the interface, so the way the audio is going into the computer, to the output of the program that we're using to record this. Now why that's not bloody obvious and just doesn't come with the computer. Like, surely everyone needs to use a program like that, but they don't. You would think that things just route the way you want them to, but they don't. And you have to, with Google, the way it is now, Google once upon a time was really easy to randomly or vaguely type in a question and get the answer that you wanted, like, because there was not that many possibilities for an answer. Now you have to be so super specific and even put in the model number of a camera and the version of a piece of software into the question, right? So that it shows up in the answer that someone's put in a forum, 2 months ago, shows up in your search results. It's awesome, and absolutely, as I said, it's like it's the Wild West. It's a whole new frontier that we're having to learn. So
yeah, I think yes, it's all right. I forget what I was going to say. Well, you don't know what I was going to say, but forget I was going to say anything.
I can't. Now this is recording, so I'll have a reminder of it forever. Speaking of having reminders of it forever, Kat said, I don't know where it came up, but I saw a video of the podcast because you've been doing this podcast with Matt since way before we met. And when you started, you were really thin, like really thin. I was like, Yeah, I know. I'm really not thin anymore. She goes, no, 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 no. She's like, I'm not saying that. I said, no, it's okay. I know I'm fat now. Like, no,
You're
no, no,
much
no.
happier now.
Oh, wait, I'm way happier. I'm not happy with my health at all.
No,
But you can't.
within yourself as a
Yeah.
human interacting with the world, you're much
Yeah.
much happier.
Yeah. You can't have it all. Maybe you can. Maybe that's the point. Maybe I've come into the point where I'm like, okay, I've got that sorted out. Maybe I can do this too now. But yeah,
You've got the audio component sorted out. Now you got to get the video part sorted out.
that's it's all about the picture. I love it. Brilliant. So what's your, so it's Wednesday. We would be meeting up in about an hour and a half probably to do this podcast if we were in the real world.
Oh yeah.
Before our gig at Crown tonight. We would be playing at Crown. So what do you got on for the rest of the week, Matty Bradshaw?
I'm going to try and improve my fucking outlook in the next 24 hours or in the next 12 hours.
You're referring to the way you see the world, not your email software?
Yeah. I need to fucking pull myself together because the way I am even right now, which is poles ahead from where I was this time last night, it's still not very fucking charismatic. So I need to get my shit together. I imagine that will happen. Tomorrow, the Rav Thomas Band and I are going to do an online recording together.
Cool.
Tonight, we are having a Zoom meeting straight after this in order to work out the logistics of how to make that happen.
Righto, sweet.
I'll do a gig tomorrow night. So Thursday night, I'll do my 9 o'clocker, and that'll be fun.
Great. I look forward to being the opening act. I like how that's happening with those things.
Well, yeah,
It's cute.
it's cute. I hate you saying opening act, but I
Don't worry, mate. You open for me on a Sunday. It's all good.
no, I fucking don't.
No, that's right. People go on a pub crawl on Sunday.
Uh,
I said to Kat today, because I went out to the garage, and I said another 3 or 4 weeks of Matt's Sunday afternoon gigs, and this place will be looking great, because I've only been working on it when you've been doing your Sunday gig. I just put the phone on over in the corner near the fridge, and then listen to you, get to work. So real.
I think stupidly, probably what's going to happen is when I get this new camera, when this new camera that I've bought gets delivered, rather than replacing my iPhone, which is what I'm using now,
Yeah.
that I'll probably set both up, won't I? Like when I bought a new PA, and I bought a new PA with smaller speakers, so it was less to lug around. But then instead of using one big speaker, I used 2 smaller ones because it did sound better. But it was still,
So what do you? Are you're going to do multiple camera angles
Yes.
and switch them?
I mean, probably, aren't I? I mean, that feels like the next logical progression. Like a fucking idiot.
What? Why does that make you a fucking idiot?
Oh, because just fucking leave shit alone, for God's sake.
No. It's not in our nature to just not explore what to do. It's maybe you'll use your phone to keep track of stuff or to pin requests or something like that.
Well, and that would be a helpful thing to do. But I fear that what I will do is, now I have 2 digital image sources. I should do that. Anyway, let's get it to arrive and let's get it to fucking work first.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever do that. I mean, I guess just the way MySpace is currently set up compared to yours.
MySpace?
Yeah, I imagine that could come back. Is that I'm trying to be very close to the screens and stuff like that. What happened then? Was there
Your
a glitch?
phone disappeared in your hand.
Oh, it's not a phone.
Oh, what is it?
It's a it is I don't know, a thing that you put on the front of a light. What are they? What do you call those?
A filter?
Yeah, that's it.
Ah,
That's a filter.
yeah, funny.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So Brav Thomasing tomorrow night gig, Friday night
Gig.
Unreal.
Saturday night, I'll watch you gig
Yeah, cool.
at Virtual Pub.
Well, I mean, that's why. So we're currently, for anyone listening, we're currently using Zoom or watching. Zoom is a video conferencing kind of platformy thing that's taken over the world right now. And this is our first thing that we've done because Skype is shit. So this is much better. The next step for us is to work out how to make the audio good when I play, because I don't think I've worked that out just yet. But I've got to get that sorted for Saturday night for the virtual pub gig, and then next week.
So the way Dom currently, if he was to step into a Zoom gig now, he'd do it the same way I did on. Oh, not even quite the same way that I did on Saturday night when I did it, because you're using two microphones, one for your acoustic guitar and one for your vocal, aren't you?
Yeah. So what you're hearing right now is the microphone that I would use to sing, which is just above the screen right here. That's one, and I've got one down here on the guitar. That's how I would ideally do it.
And the one Dom has on his voice, I don't know what he's using on his guitar, but I know he's using a studio condenser mic on his voice. They're not particularly directional. So you're getting a lot of guitar through that as well. And the issue that I had the other night was I had my electric acoustic plugged in. I was using this mic above my head the same way Dom's got for his voice, for my voice. But the signal that was coming from my guitar and the acoustic sound that was getting picked up by the microphone were slightly cancelling each other out. So when people said my guitar sounded thin, that's what they meant. It was just cancelling out certain frequencies as they kind of bounced in and out of one another.
Yeah. I've got the same mic doing the same same mic on both things. So and they're both going into the same unit. So
and it works perfectly well when Dom's doing his solo thing. The same way when I'm doing my solo thing, it works perfectly well.
Yeah, because they've set up
for this
the same
different
way.
setup, and then you add in 5 other feeds, and it all gets a bit. And you add in 5 other feeds with people who don't mute themselves when you're doing your thing, and you would recognise if Dom and I both speak at the same time now.
If we just
then
both
it all
speak at
goes
the same-
completely haywire, and you can't understand what either of us say. Yeah.
Can you as the performer mute everyone else in this?
The host can mute everyone else.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, the performers can only mute themselves.
Yeah, okay. Well, that'd be interesting.
It's not actually that difficult to, when you're not singing a song, remember to mute your own mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not very difficult.
Not difficult to remember, but it's the kind of thing. So when I'm doing my Facebook Lives in the morning and nighttime, I have a reverb plugin, which I could probably just turn on right now and show you what I mean.
Go on.
If I open it up, it's currently muted, and I can now turn it on, and there's a reverb.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, talking between songs.
Me too.
Wait,
me too? Ah, fuck it. Whatever, I don't care. Really?
Talking between songs and having reverb, like this kind of reverb, it's like, this is annoying for people to listen to.
It's distracting and it's disengaging.
Yeah, but when you're singing and playing guitar, it adds some nice ambiance. So you've got.
Well, it does, because we are so used to hearing it on every piece of music we listen to. Nothing in our audio space is unaffected. We never speak in an environment where it sounds like this, even when the person's standing right next to us. There's still ambient room noise. It's peculiar when you hear it like this. And so, sorry, what I was going to say was that it's not difficult to remember. In the context of that virtual pub gig, it's not difficult to remember because what you are is an audience member watching someone else perform, and you don't fucking talk. So it's actually because it's different to what you're talking about, where you're in the middle of your own gig, and it's perceptible, but it's kind of imperceptible, and you're just doing your thing, and then you finish a song, and the idea of having to just reach over and hit a button every time you want to talk like you're fucking Mr. Spock, shut up.
It's not in the Australian culture to shut up at a gig either, unfortunately.
No, but as performers, yes, absolutely. You'll find it really natural to. I finished my song. Thanks very much, everyone.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking.
I guess too. What I noticed about the virtual pub gig too, and it's musos in general. I mean, obviously, you and I do a podcast together. We're quite comfortable talking for a long time. The banter, the banter is something that when you get it right at a gig, it's great, right? But most of the time, it's just shit. Like, it's actually 4 minutes between a song and, 5 people talking, and you can't understand what the hell's going on.
No, you've got to wait. And that's an understanding of this technology as well. That's aside from giving someone the respect of letting them speak before you say the next funny thing that's popped into your head. It's also an understanding of the technology where, and it is a different use of language and a different way of interacting because you're talking and I want to acknowledge that I'm listening. And that's as simple as saying, at reasonable points. But this technology doesn't really lend itself to doing that because you say the thing and the other part.
Well, can I just say, out of all of the technologies, Zoom is the best one because when you're talking, the screen edges, the frame of the screen lights up. So when, I'm talking to Matt right now, our view of it is we can see that the screen lights up. I don't know what the recording will end up doing, but when Matt takes over right now,
like now,
then I imagine once there are 5 people on screen, it'd be pretty easy to see which one's talking, unless, of course, you're all talking at once. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be fun. But
it will be fun. You will have a good time.
I will, and it'll be great because I've never technically gigged with any of those guys, and I've known a lot of them for years and years, so that'll be really fun.
I made that very observation when they asked me to introduce myself. I kind of didn't talk about myself at all. I talked about the fact that I'd never gigged with any of them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But
then
also,
I said I never would again because they're all dickheads.
I am looking forward to getting the technology right so that we can do this as a gig going back and forth with our original stuff because that would be really cool. And also I imagine what I want to do is do a gig with a bunch of people, like get James Sidey to do one and Simon Imrie and, a whole bunch of people who I know that can just put a camera in front of their face and sing their song one for one with me. So that not every time I go live is just, me with a silly backdrop. It's trivia night tonight, by the way. I'm going to do some trivia again.
Awesome. I thought we were going to head towards that original thing tonight because we were a long way forward of where we were last Wednesday, and I really wasn't up for it. So I'm glad I didn't have to say no to you.
Yeah, I don't think I've got about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours of messing with the audio and learning how to use it before I start wanting to break stuff. Yeah, and of course that would be a bad idea. So today I worked out how to route the audio just to get this, and it's as we talked about earlier. You'd think it'd just be like, oh yeah, that works, but
still surprised there's no reverb. Anyway,
that's all right. We've got a week to work it out. That's ridiculous. So what time's your thing? So you've got a meeting in 10 with the RAV guys.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds like a cute little project to do, record a song. So are you going to have all that thing where you got the video and the audio of everyone playing their thing? Are you going to do that? like that people are doing multi-screen. Yeah, cool.
That's what we're doing.
Awesome.
Hope so.
Yeah.
It's just a snippet. I think it's.
Okay.
I mean, in the context of this podcast, I think I'm allowed to say that it's really just to generate some content and take advantage of this new technology that we're now living in, and making sure that we appear to still be relevant. Because it's not a new song. It's just yeah.
That's
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Isn't it?
Well, it's important. Well, I guess that generally an important byproduct of being creative, and whether or not it's the reason you do something, well, I don't know about. I'm not sure about that, but certainly, I guess for me, here we go. I'll go on a bit of a rant. No, I'll try not to rant. I wonder about. I think what's happening right now with, we're all kind of self-isolating and trying to be responsible citizens, and also, not die and stuff. But I think right now, there's never been a better time to be an independent, original musician.
Yeah.
As far as the opportunity to perform in front of people that can possibly watch you and don't have the the distractions in front of them that they usually do, which is be able to leave their house and go and do stuff. So all of the possible distractions that people have are, within their house, and they're within the place that you will perform, or the computer, or on the TV. They're not in the books they might read or whatever, but this is a place, this is a forum where you can perform and people can get to know the music that you make, or the theatre you perform, or any of that kind of thing. Because I see the opportunity for everyone, like who has a skill.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really, really interesting is a huge majority of people I'm seeing is like, this isn't how I want to do it. It's not how I've always done it. And therefore it's shit.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not fair. And the government should do something to look after me and make it better for me. And whereas I think slowly people are kind of starting to go, all right, well, I've been angry and upset for too long now. I need to kind of get my skates on. And it's, it's still early days. It's still early days of being stuck in your house, which is good. So I think that, but if you were ever in a band, say just for the hang, and not because you enjoyed creating music together, or you were passionate about being creative, well, then you don't get to have the hang anymore. And everything about being in the band is actually now about you applying your skills and learning new things and being creative and working on the art, because you can't get together for a hang and be in a band. You need to actually do work that is challenging and requires you to be introspective and to be patient with yourself and other people, which is all about what being an artist is, and I think I've seen a lot of musicians in particular be really frustrated because they're actually, in order to make the leap to being online, they're confronted with their inadequacies with the technology. And so they're like, well, that's why they're upset. Because if I want to be a musician, I have to learn how to do this. And that guy over there's got a kick-ass live stream, and me, it's just my bloody iPhone, and, everyone can tell the difference. And the reality is like, if you're just being you and you're being giving of your time and your creations, it doesn't really matter if you've got a great backdrop like this. It's just the extra bit. I do think people notice the extra effort, but if you just anyway, do you think people are adjusting? Some people quicker than others, and some people less begrudgingly than others.
Yeah. Look, I had a text conversation maybe 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, with a mutual friend of yours and mine who is kind of new agey. It's that feels like such an outmoded phrase, but I don't want to say hippie, spiritual. I don't want to say that either. But anyway, all of those things.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the shift the world has to have, and we'll come out of this, better as a society. And my response, I don't know if it was my immediate response, but I think probably to her I just said, that's great, and I hope you're right, without actually dismissing it out of hand. Because with reference to what you're saying about some people are taking longer to adjust than others, I think if this had have lasted a month, I think we'd go straight back to exactly the way we were. But I think if it lasts 6 months, there is actually a real chance for fundamental change in the way we live, the way we deal with each other, the way we interact with the world around us.
Yeah.
I don't mean this interaction. I mean, once we go back out into the world, I am really, I think I'm genuinely hopeful that this is, rather than just a cataclysmic event in our shared history, it is actually a tipping point towards something more positive. Because I am the eternal optimist, but that is always balanced against all the fucking horrible things I see and hear about and feel, and I just that's often difficult to reconcile.
Yeah.
But I genuinely hope and am closer to being hopeful that that something really positive will come out of all this fucking shit.
Well, it will. It and in many respects has already. But of course, the nature of people is that yes, we're incredibly adaptable, and generally people want to do the right thing. I mean, like 80,
sure, absolutely.
80-20 principle wise,
Yeah.
It's not the majority of people that are dicks and that that do bad stuff and behave poorly. Yeah. So I think in many respects, I mean, like I have been out and about for doing things that you have to do, and people are. I mean, my interaction with people has been beautiful.
Oh, dude, mine too. Without exception.
Yeah, it's been so much better. But here's the thing too. Here's what I think people realize. It's like, if I don't have to spend 2 hours traveling to and from work every day, then I don't get shitty about traffic, right? I don't experience traffic, so I don't get shitty with it, right? I don't have to, I mean, I don't personally, catch a train, but if I don't ever sit on my briefcase for an hour while I'm on a train, right? I'm not in pain. I don't have a bad back. It's just things like that. It's like so many of these things that, I have never ever seen the amount of people walking around the neighborhood like I've seen now with their dog and their kids playing in the street.
Yeah.
Like allowed to, because there's no cars. Like, there'd be an element of that people going, well, if it's 6 months, then there's no way bosses can turn around and say, all right, you'll have to come back to the office 5 days a week.
No.
Like, and
that's
also,
right. And that's
a good business manager is say, all right, well, we don't need to have this massive office space. Like,
fuck yes.
So, well, we just let people work from home and, have a small space and just have one-on-one meetings twice a week, when people come to the office. I don't know.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of that stuff, and
There will.
You know, there may even be live gigs online all the time because
We might come back to that conversation because I had a conversation with a friend of mine today just as I was out walking.
Okay.
About that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Right. Well, you've got a meeting to go to.
I do, and that was a message just coming through, which I thought was from the band leader, but it's about something completely unrelated, which is hilarious. Awesome. At meeting time.
Brilliant.
Makes me laugh.
All right. Will you go and have that meeting with the band? I'm looking forward to hearing about and actually seeing what you guys make together. That'd be cool. I'm going to go and make some juice, 'cause I'm trying to be healthy. And then at 7:30, I'm going to watch Greta Zilla's online show. And then
beautiful.
I'm going to do trivia night on my stream. So
awesome.
Cool. I love you. You're a good man.
Back at you, son. Thank you.
Salada biscuits. And now I press stop on the recording. New to the technology here. Stop recording.